What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. Thursday night, we're in week 2 of the NFL season, and the Commanders with the left hand up, where I pissed off Momo and his rants. He was actually live during the live stream, and he does not like the Commanders song. And so we continue to play it quite often for him. And his prediction of the Commanders starting out 7-0, that's a little off. Here's the reality of football. Football, I have a new clip, and it's from Gladiator, where the guy basically says, "For those of us who are about to die, I salute you." And that's kind of what you have to look at with football. They're like modern day gladiators. And when you see some of these injuries, Austin Eckler, I think, tore his Achilles tendon, which definitely hurts the Commanders since they traded away their running back before the season started. And I'm trying to remember who the other one, but they've got two, basically, I can guarantee you, 2 season-ending injuries. And you saw Jalen Daniels looking like a sophomore slump where teams are going after him. It kind of reminded me of with RG3, what teams realize, one, RG3 destroyed his knee in the playoffs, but what teams realized was you got to keep in the pocket and you hit him. You hit him. And it exposed RG3 from being, rookie of the year to being below average quarterback and not really having a career. Jalen Daniels, seeing him run and seeing him beginning to take hits and stuff, you look at that and say, bro, you can't do that. You cannot take those hits like that, man. Your career is going to be destroyed. He is not a big guy. He's fast. But when you get some of these guys coming through and start hitting you, those things start building up. And so now you look at it and say, they got the win against the Giants, but they didn't look that good in that win. The Giants are a bad team, although it's the NFL where anything can happen from one week to the next. They looked really, really bad. Their defense is definitely suspect, like we said. And if they've lost Eckler, man, that team is got some real, real problems. But at least they have kind of the mini bye week now because they're playing on Thursday night before they play again. And Micah Parsons, this is what's crazy to me. Do you realize in the 23 season, the last 11 games of the season, there was not one holding call for Micah Parsons? There were 2 tonight. And they were focusing, Micah Parsons is being... It's like, wait a minute. Here's how you actually know there is a bias against the Cowboys. You can't tell me that I'm looking at the same holding calls, holds that we see on a regular, and we don't get any of those. Take a look at the Eagles game. Take a look at the Eagles game. There were ones that were more egregious than what you saw tonight against Micah. They called those for Micah. They didn't call them for the Cowboys. And here's how you know there's definitely some bull jiggity when it comes to the Cowboys. Hang on for 1 second. Hold on. Put you on pause for a second. Whew. Sorry about that. Thought I heard something downstairs and wanted to double check. But here's the thing that's kind of crazy is you start thinking about if we had gotten those holding calls as Jalen Hurts, who was the only thing that was going really right for the Eagles offense, was Jalen Hurts scrambling after the defense basically did their job. And here it is, guys can't get into the pursuit because they're being held. Those things matter. And I know people are going to say, oh, you're just a whiny little bitch. Well, okay, fine, whatever. But I'm speaking truth. I'm speaking truth. We have here, this is not apples to oranges. This is apples to apples. A guy who literally does not get calls as a Cowboy goes to Green Bay, and I think that's 3 now in 2 games. Guys, a 10-yard holding penalty is a game killer. I mean, a drive killer. It really is. It's the difference between winning and losing. You can blame the quarterback all you want and say, well, the quarterback couldn't succeed. When you end up getting 13 penalties in a playoff game, your odds of winning, unless the other team has more, really go down. It's really frustrating to go through and have those kind of things happen to you. But such is the life of a Cowboys fan. The Cowboys, here's something crazy. This is insane to think about this. Now that we have DaRon Bland injured again, that in the course of the last 2 years, Diggs and DaRon Bland have only played together for 4 games. For 4 freaking games. And that sucks. So it looks like Reddy is going to be ready to play and take his place. It doesn't look like the Cowboys are going to sign anybody because they believe in their own guys. They wanted to sign Clowney, and Clowney, they talked to him and things like that. He's going to wait a little bit, and I think what he's trying to do is he's trying to see if he can get some better offers. Now that the Cowboys have interest in him, if you had an interest in him and you were waiting, at this point, you end up saying, we got to shit or get off the toilet because somebody else already wants him, and we're going to have to move. And he's probably playing and banking on somebody else might jump in and pay him more money, because what you have to look at is he's at the end of his career now. He's at the end of his career, and you're trying to get that last little kitty before you go completely out. And make no mistake about it, sadly, so many players, I think the number is around 74% of NFL players are bankrupt within 4 years of leaving the NFL. And I've pointed out how when you look at somebody like Tyreek Hill, who right now seems to be, a little angry. You saw him pissed off on the sidelines there. Miami is kind of done with him as far as, I can't see this being a long-term relationship. And I don't know how many more good years he has. But now the NFL is investigating him because of his ex-wife claiming domestic violence after the settlement that he got to pay. And if you haven't seen that, you start thinking about that and the 5 new baby mamas. When he gets out of the NFL, that doesn't reduce because you're no longer playing. That $30,000 to $50,000 a month is going to continue after he's out of the NFL. And I don't know what Tyreek Hill will be doing after he gets out of the NFL. So people, understand in life, you can make a bad decision that maybe only took a couple seconds. Or you might do something that seems like it's going to be great, man. I'm going to do this shit. But it has repercussions for the rest of your life. Be careful out there. Think twice before doing something stupid. And remember, always, especially on a day like today, September 11th, to always tell the people you love how much you love them, because life is short. Life is precious. And there's crazy mother humpers out there that you got to worry about now. I love you guys. And thank you all for sharing this 10-year birthday or anniversary or whatever you want to call it for this channel. It has been a great 10 years with you guys. And I look forward to 10 more, God willing. Have a good night. And God willing, I'll see y'all tomorrow.